Singapore International Water Week has kicked off, bringing together the private and public sectors to find solutions for the world's water problems. Sri Jagaraj is on the ground with the latest. Sri.
Good morning, Karen. I think one of the big talking points at this summit is going to be how global business and industry is a huge end user of water. You only have to look at the extractive, the mining industry, oil and gas, and also food and beverages. So that puts even more strain on an already finite resource. It creates challenges, but it also creates opportunities, especially for companies like Black & Veatch. Dan McCarthy is President and CEO of the global water business at the infrastructure developer. You focus on the energy and the water industries, Dan. To what degree has business woken up to the fact that there are risks associated with the scarcity of water supply, and what are they doing to mitigate those risks?
I think it's become an issue at the board level in many companies right now, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that in a corporate social responsibility perspective, being a good steward of water is very expected by the investors, and so therefore it takes a whole new dynamic in how you plan a business, how you look at sustainability, and how do you provide good return to your shareholders.
I think what's been really visible in the past year or so is when you look at the issue of nuclear power in Japan, or the food crisis, food shortages, this linkage that you've highlighted between energy and water, between agriculture and water. How much technological progress has been made on resolving those very structural, very profound issues?
Well, the progress has to be around how do you provide a good balance between the competing interests of food, energy, and water. And that three-legged stool, as you might say, is really the way things are starting to come about. And you back up from the perspective that water is also a fuel. It's a fuel to the human body. It's also a fuel to the economy, much like energy, much like food. And so when you put it in that context, it takes on a whole new meaning and a whole different perspective on value.
That's controversial as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you price water is a perennial issue in the industry. And if water is a scarce resource and is getting scarcer because of the mega trends that you've been talking about, especially in emerging Asia, then what is the cost of water right now? How much has it appreciated for business and the consumer?
Well, water typically is priced on the cost of delivery and treatment of that product. And that's not really even factoring in the value of the commodity itself, which is unlike many other fuel sources. And so therefore, we really have not gotten the true value of water communicated to the users. I believe once they understand the true value of water, the cost of water will go up to a point where it's sustainable in the fact that enough investment can be made to keep the systems going.
So strategically at Black & Veatch, how are you positioning yourself in emerging Asia? Clearly huge opportunities, especially in water treatment, in clean tech. How much have you earmarked for investment, and what are your plans in China, of course?
Well, how we look at investment is around how do we position ourselves to be able to understand the technology, understand the issues of our clients, and marry those together. So we're the channel for technology to come into the marketplace and provide the solutions that are necessary.
And just very finally, Dan, wastage, inefficiency in the distribution networks, not only in Asia, but in the developed world, and Europe and North America, are a huge problem. We're talking about 25 to 30% wastage here. Those type of inefficiencies wouldn't be tolerated in any other business. What's being done to cut it down in the water industry?
It's really characterized as non-revenue water. So there's water that's wasted through leakage. There's also water that goes through water theft or just inefficient metering. And so therefore, the whole industry is looking at a better way to do that through smart metering, through more public awareness around the cost of water. If they see their neighbors taking water illegally, they're paying actually the difference. And so therefore, there's a lot of programs, especially in developing countries, around understanding the fact that all of the cost of water is being conveyed to the people who actually are paying bills. And so therefore, there's a lot of self-policing action going on, which is very helpful.
Dan, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much indeed for those insights on the industry. I've been speaking to Dan McCarthy. He's the President and CEO of the global water business at Black &